Hi. Hi. I already said hello to you. Today is the fourth day of RPG A Day for the year 2017. It's day 4, and this is the day on which our perhaps most traditional question makes its appearance. This is the question that we've asked in one form or another each year. So, sharp-eyed viewers will already have gotten a visual clue as to what my answer is. But the question itself is, what is the game that you have played the most in the last calendar year, or since the last RPG A Day, since August of 2016? And if you had asked me last year, or if you'd asked Vito last year, we both would have told you, obviously, it was going to be Fantasy Flight Games' Star Wars role-playing game, because that is the major face-to-face campaign of which I'm a part. It's important. Plans. Big plans. Heavy-duty scheduling goes into making sure that that game happens and keeps happening. It's been going on for 3 years. Well, turns out that's not the game that I ended up playing the most in this last calendar year. You're looking at it. I've been fortunate enough, and I can't really believe my luck. I've been fortunate enough to play one of my very favorite systems of all time, which is Ubiquity, which first appeared in Hollow Earth Expedition, produced by Exile Games. Anybody who's watched this channel before has definitely heard me talk about it. I've been playing Leagues of Adventure, but I've been playing it through its incredibly detailed supplement, Leagues of Gothic Horror, which, as you can imagine, contains everything you ever wanted to know about that genre, set in Victorian England, as imagined by Leagues of Adventure, where you can play it straight, just as a Victorian game, or you can play it as what we call steam pulp. Not steampunk so much, but more in the spirit of exploration and propriety and impropriety, which even comes more to the fore in Leagues of Gothic Horror, a situation where sanity mechanics and corruption mechanics can help you propel your character into situations where their soul is imperiled or where their mind is imperiled, and it provides a lot of very interesting, challenging, and exciting role-playing experiences. Now, as I mentioned, perhaps, we've been doing it as members or agents of the Ministry of Unusual Affairs. We are challenged or charged with the protection of the British Empire from supernatural or unnatural or alien threats. Now, for those of you who follow this channel, you have my answer to the question. I recommend you go on to someone else's channel, find their RPG A Day answer, comment on it, share about it, because there's nothing new is going to come. But for those of you who are new to Ubiquity or new to this channel, just dropping by for RPG A Day, then stick around. What we have, Leagues of Adventure, as I mentioned earlier, is a steam pulp setting in Victorian England in the 1890s, which means it's primarily about themes of exploration, discovery, invention, creation, risk, and great reward. It's kind of an optimistic game, and yet through Gothic Horror we can take that exploration and desire for discovery and invention and turn it inward. Explore experiences or stories like the unfortunate experiments of Dr. Jekyll, or the even more unfortunate experiments of Victor von Frankenstein and the result to create the creature known as the monster. There's a lot that can be done. And this game is inspiring, and it's inspiring to its creator, who has produced a tremendous amount of material for it. And this doesn't represent all of it, because a lot of it is available only in PDF at the moment. But imagine there are all of these guides to the classic monsters. We have a guide to vampires. We have a guide to shapeshifters. We have a guide to mummies. We have a guide to black magic. We have a guide to apparitions. And we even have an expansion which contains even more stuff that these totally packed guides don't have. Leagues of Adventure has a whole world of supplements available, including things like the Lunar Naut's Guide to the Moon, The game is broad. If you want to do the arrival of invaders from Mars, such as you might have heard in a radio broadcast from a certain H.G. Wells, if you wanted to talk about things like the, I don't know, Wild Wild West, that old TV show, if you wanted to do something like meddling with things that we probably shouldn't with a Frankenstein theme, the Invisible Man, everything is there, possible, laid out for you to grab by the throat and bring kicking and screaming to life, charged with electricity. I've been having a lot of fun playing this game, as you can tell. Now, in my explorations of this game, where I get to simply sit back, enjoy the ride, and play, I don't get to play as the game master, I get to play as a player. I've got a single character, and that's what I can focus on. I get to play a former spy, one who was unfortunately let down, basically left to hang by the British government and left to rot in a foreign prison with no help forthcoming. Managed to escape, make my way back to Britain, and maybe through blackmail or other unsavory means, get himself back into a post in the government, unfortunately for the character, in the Ministry of Unusual Affairs, where his day-to-day duties are protecting the Empire from extraordinarily dangerous, sanity-affecting, soul-corrupting supernatural threats. But life is hard. I'm joined by some other very colorful characters, and the game just keeps me on the edge of my seat and laughing and looking forward to the next clue so I might be able to unravel the mystery. So far we've tangled with a nefarious cult, first unsure if their magic was real, and then unfortunately having to deal with that very real threat, then later exploring rumors of some strange events, possible possessions in the far-off wastes of the Dominion of Canada, and next, hopefully, on the trail of a mad scientist. So there's lots and lots of variety ahead of us. So this is the game that has been on my mind the most as a player in the end of 2016 and so far all the way through 2017. Who knows what will be next? Because of this game, I've been inspired to do a lot of things. We've been running Hollow Earth Expedition one-shots, the origin of the system which powers League of Adventure, and I have been, of course, running the 4GM Experiment, where we take another Triple Ace Games creation, All for One, Regime Diabolique, a supernatural swashbuckling horror game themed around the Musketeers in 1630s France, and we have been sharing Game Master duties in one campaign. So lots and lots and lots of fun with what is probably one of my top systems. And if that's not all, I've also gotten to play a lot of Mithras, D100 gaming. I'm still playing Star Wars. It's been a pretty awesome year all the way around, and this is the icing on the cake. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for an entirely new question for Day 5. RPG A Day was created by Autocratic and sponsored this year by the RPG Brigade.